Tonight on Lowdown, we'll check out the Involvement and Volunteer Fair to show some of the cool opportunities available on campus. We'll also take a look back at some of the past groups we've covered and the students who are part of them. So sit back, relax, and join us for another look at UCM here on Lowdown. Hello, and welcome back to Lowdown, the show by the students of the University of Central Missouri in Warrensburg. I'm Ranjanae Hill, and thanks for joining us this evening as we continue to delve into all the cool things happening here at UCM. Speaking of, UCM just held its annual Involvement and Volunteer Fair to help organizations on campus and in the Warrensburg community spread the word out to students about interesting groups you can be a part of here. Each year, the University of Central Missouri hosts a volunteer fair to showcase to students the different opportunities available in the Warrensburg community to get involved in.
Today, the university is hosting a volunteer fair. It's just a fair that's open to anybody at the university to come and talk to vendors in town or in the area about volunteering.
There's a ton of different organizations in Warrensburg and the surrounding areas that come out, and they're just looking for students to kind of give them a way to give back and help out.
I've been here for 4 years and I never actually stopped and talked to anyone, but if you want to get information and you want to be brief about it, just go up to the booth, tell them your name, tell them that you're interested in volunteering, grab a brochure and ask them how you can contact them. They will give you the information to contact them. Give them a call, drop them an email, and they will get back to you if they are in need of volunteers.
Student Activities invites a multitude of diverse groups to spark the different interest areas students may have.
I just went to a few booths. I haven't been to them all, but I did go to a booth that's called Survivor. It's about domestic violence and substance abuse, and they take in men, women, and children, and they provide services like resume help, like they help find jobs, they do counseling, therapy, and like just all this great stuff for people in town.
I visited the Warrensburg Animal Shelter booth, and I got to volunteer with them a little bit last year and help them out, but it's cool to check in and see how they're doing, and they definitely need volunteers just because a lot of people want to just walk the dogs and play with them, which is fun, and they definitely need it, but they also need cleaning, especially in the winter because it gets cold, so the dogs no longer have an indoor-outdoor kennel. It's mainly their indoor kennel, and those get dirty quickly, so you need about 5 hours of just cleaning. So you do cat litter, maybe dog cages, and then once you get those 5 hours, you can play with them, clean, and do really anything else they need.
I had the pleasure of sitting down with Stormy Taylor, Executive Director of Big Brothers Big Sisters, to talk about her organization's mission.
Big Brothers Big Sisters is a nonprofit organization. We've been here in this community for 20 years. We're celebrating 20 years in April, which is kind of exciting for us. We work to match up children who are primarily from single-parent families with volunteers that we have screened that are primarily looking to just build a friendship. And so kind of what they do is what normal everyday volunteers, or not volunteers, but friends do. Maybe it's go to the park, play outside, maybe they're just going to watch a movie together, cook cookies, whatever it is that you like to do. And so through that friendship, what we hope will happen is that they will have improved self-esteem, they will maybe want to go to school, our goal is that they're going to graduate from high school, become some kind of productive citizen, and we're starting to see that we have actually some of our littles come back, be involved in the program. So one of the things that we look for and ask for is, consistency, being consistent in that child's life. So as a volunteer, we'll ask for you to see the child once a week for an average of 2 to 4 hours. And so we ask for you to go to their home, pick them up, and then take them to do something. And so you have to make that commitment.
Overall, students and professionals alike agree that volunteering has some great benefits.
Animal shelter definitely teaches me responsibility and like a thoroughness when cleaning the cages, because I kind of look at it, if these were my animals, like I wouldn't want to miss like one spot, because especially they're living in such a confined space. And so it's just rewarding, and especially getting to see the cats, you'll clean their litter boxes, you'll put them in, and it just feels good to be able to see just like the atmosphere that they're living in kind of almost liven up. And it sounds cliche, it sounds weird, but they're happier when they're in a cleaner environment, and I'm happy helping. And you also get to meet cool people through it. A few of us went out one day. I had some residents come with me, and we got to just all clean and help, and it's a fun time.
Volunteers are kind of funny because most of them get into the program thinking they're really doing it to help a child. But what I've found over the years is that most volunteers, their lives are forever changed by the child that they're matched with. They are kind of, they're surprised at how much that child makes an impact on them. They spend a lot of time with them. They become very involved in their life. They're emotionally bonded to them. They're proud of them when they do well. They're hurt when they don't. And so they make an emotional investment in that child. And so many of our volunteers, they tell me when they end the match, that child has blessed me more than I ever thought that it would. I thought I was doing this, maybe as a great thing to write on my resume or as a great experience. I'm going into nursing, this is a great experience for me. But many volunteers say, I had no idea that I was really going to form a bond with this child.
Reporting for Lowdown, I'm Ronjanae Hill.
The University of Central Missouri is full of many wonderful organizations. You would likely be lost trying to find out about all of them on your own time, so Spotlight hosts an involvement fair every semester in hopes of bringing together a lot of organizations under one roof to help students find a new club or group to join. There's people representing everything from martial arts to theater and dance. We asked a few students about the involvement fair and what brought them out to this event.
My name is Meredith Trapper, and I'm the Vice President of Membership for Delta Zeta. I'm here at the involvement fair today for my sorority to just get awareness for us and get women more interested in going through recruitment.
My name is Hugo Hidalgo, and I'm president of the National Society of Collegiate Scholars. It's one of the newer organizations on campus, so we're here pretty much just trying to recruit and get more members and get our name out there.
My fraternity has a table here, and I came to help out a little bit, but I'm just checking it out as well.
Well, I'm in a group called Nomni, so I came for that, and then I also like to come because I like to look at the other little tables that are around here to see if I can get more involved.
So far, I think the involvement fair has been pretty good. We've gotten a couple people sign up already. We still got some time left, so hopefully we get some more.
So far, the involvement fair has been great. I've got to interact with women who might be interested in going through recruitment in the fall, and really just being able to get our name out there as Delta Zeta, but Greek life as a whole.
We also asked if they believe this is a beneficial event for students.
I think this is definitely a beneficial event for students. It helps them get to know the different organizations on campus. Like usually they'll find something that they like, and usually if they sign up, if they're interested in something, they'll be able to find it here.
When you actually participate, it's actually really helpful because you can see the different events that are on campus that you can join. So I think it's very helpful if you want to get involved with stuff. More so freshmen, since it's their first year, and they can kind of figure out what's going on around campus. So I feel like it's more of a freshman thing, but it can also be for other grades too as well.
I definitely think this is a beneficial event for students. I know in my organization personally, we have to join another organization outside of Delta Zeta, so that's a really great way for our members to get involved, but also just students who need to make friends or find a professional organization or anything they might be interested in.
We then asked if there were any groups that had caught their attention.
I'm actually sitting right across from the robotics club, and that's actually looking pretty cool, so I might actually go talk to them for a little bit.
Well, I know it's the Mule Skinner over there. I've heard about it because I have a teacher that runs it, but I heard more in depth about it with being over there. So, and I joined a couple dance groups too, so I found some pretty interesting ones.
Since there's always room for improvement, we asked if they had any pointers to make the involvement fair better.
Maybe more advertisement for it so more people can be known about it, because I didn't really hear about it all too much, but they could do that for sure.
I'd probably say have more tables be a little bit more decorative instead of plain tables, because then it'll draw more attention to their tables. So kind of have that requirement for tables.
I think this event could be improved by making it more personable, maybe moving it to the multi where there's more space for the organizations to kind of spread out and have it easier for you to talk to the students who are interested in joining your organization.
I think this event could be improved. I think Probably through a bit more planning. I know, like, coming in, there was a bit of confusion, like who's where. They just had like a small little map for it, but I think like having bigger signs or like these groups are here and there, so I think that would help. I also think that probably just getting the word out about it earlier that would actually like attract more people and get more organizations on board with it.
Finally, we asked if they would personally recommend this event to other students around campus.
Yeah, definitely if they were trying to get involved, they would get all the information they needed to get. Different organizations here.
Yeah, I'll probably recommend it to like students that are trying to find groups that they're trying to be involved in. And if I kind of like know some people that just came to campus, kind of recommend it to them too as well.
I would recommend this event for other students, mainly because if they're interested in something, they're going to find other people here that are interested in the same thing. They'll be able to make friends, join organizations that fit their interests, pretty much just have a good time.
I definitely would recommend this event to other students. It's a great way to get involved on campus and find something that you're passionate about.
Reporting for Lowdown, I'm Jacob Clark.
All over the United States, colleges and universities alike are facing budget cuts. Here at the University of Central Missouri, one budget being affected by these cuts is the Mule Skinner.
Mule Skinner is UCM's student-ran paper. We run under Digital Berg, which is UCM's like full media platform, and that consists of the Mule Skinner, Central TV, and the Beat. And on Digital Berg's website, we have sports, news, opinion pieces, and we do all that kind of stuff around the community and campus.
When news broke that the Mule Skinner would not be able to print for one fiscal school year, students were surprised, but took this as an opportunity to rework how news was delivered on campus.
The Mule Skinner was put into an abeyance because of the budget cuts, which means that we were not able to print for one fiscal year. Everything that we do is online. We have a digital issue of the paper that we still have our design editors. They still make a digital paper for us. They still do the work that they would if we were doing a print paper, but it's all digital and we blast it on social media. And then in addition to that, every single story that anyone writes that goes in the paper is also put online.
The online platform is really actually kind of cool. The videos can be embedded into the issue, so click it, read all the stories. Oh, there's a video, I can click on it, and the play button is like glowing, and it's like, oh, it's there, you better watch it. It's really cool. And I think that makes it kind of fun, and it gives me a lot of freedom.
We did our best to make it a good situation, make the most out of it, because we knew that we were going to produce news no matter what. We were going to get news out to the community as well as we can, even if we didn't have a print paper. And so far, we've done a really good job of that.
Since going digital, student reporters are liking their ability to be more creative with the paper's layout, adding more photos and infographics, as well as the deadline leniency.
We don't have the pressures of having a print paper and paying for a print paper. We are given more freedoms to do what we want, and we can kind of experiment and do different things with the paper that we're working on.
We're trying to get like more photo galleries, use more emojis even, and that's something I never would have thought of doing in the first place, because at first I wasn't using any emojis on anything because I was like, oh, we're a newspaper, it's like more professional. But then she comes in and she's like, you have to use emojis, and she's like, you need more photos, all about the visuals. And so we're just trying to like make it to where we're more seen and more likable, I guess, especially for EJ. He gets to have a lot more fun, you know, with the design.
Today, the Mule Skinner is pumping out new editions weekly and receiving positive reviews from their audience.
Print only allows you to do so much when it comes to color and with pictures, and it's a little different, but online we're able to make ridiculously beautiful designs. We can put as much color as we want on there, and every week that we have put out a paper, I've had someone come up to me and say, the paper looked beautiful this week. There were so many colors. It was so fun to read because of the amount of pictures, the amount of color, and you just can't do that as much with a print paper because it's more expensive and we're put on more restrictions. Now the Mule Skinner has more of a digital presence, and there's more of a presence online, which is really neat.
The next time you want to know what's going on campus and in the Warrensburg community, whip out your phone and go to digitalberg.com and search for the Mule Skinner. Reporting for Lowdown, I'm Ranjanae Hill.
I take a lot of naps in here, like a lot. I took 2 naps in here yesterday.
The University of Central Missouri has many involved students within its campus, and senior Lea Kimball is no exception. We sat down with Lea to ask her about her involvement on campus and how it changed her perspective on college.
My name is Lea Kimball. I am a senior here at UCM, and I'm also the news editor of the Mule and I co-produce a TV show called Sidetracked. When I first got to UCM, I wasn't really involved in too much just because I was trying to focus on the transition of high school to college and stuff. And it took me about a year to really dive into what the digital media production program had and the different organizations I could get involved in, and that was really cool. I got involved with Central TV working on Sidetracked with my two friends, Louis Sharp and Brad McClure, and we kind of dove into it. We didn't really know what we were doing too much. I didn't know what I was doing. They might have. I didn't really know what I was doing, and we had a lot of fun doing it, and we have done one season now, and we're working on our second season as we go. And then I also, I spend a lot of time up in the Mule office. So I'm the news editor at the Mule and I work with contributors. So I help anyone that wants to write stuff for the paper. I help them kind of clean it up, tighten it up, figure out what they want to write about. I work closely with all of the other staff members at the Mule as well, tightening up their stuff, making sure that it's all copy edited right. If any of us need help filling holes in stories and stuff, we all kind of help each other out and do stuff like that. I also write my own stories. Each week I try to do 1 or 2 stories a week, depending on like whatever's going on. I do news, so right now I'm working on a story about the Toys for Tots drive that's going to be going on pretty soon over the holiday season. I also write the police beat, so I go down to the police station every week and I get to see all the criminals and see their headshots, their mugshots, and that's pretty fun. When I first came to UCM, my original game plan was, I'm gonna come into class, I'm gonna get all my classes done, and I'm gonna get out of here as fast as I can, because I didn't want to be involved in stuff. I just wanted to start working, and I just wanted to be an adult. And then I realized into my second semester that that wasn't really a very good game plan, and that the best way for me to succeed and to soak up as much information and knowledge as I could while I was here would be to get involved in different things. So the Mule Central TV, I did a little bit of work with PBL, which is Phi Beta Lambda. It's the collegiate version of FBLA. And those different organizations that I've worked with and have been involved in have really, not only have they given me the confidence to go out into the workforce next year whenever I plan on graduating, not only do I feel confident to go out into the workforce and be a successful employee wherever I go, but I also have these skill sets that I didn't think I could develop, that I still don't think I can develop only taking classes here. I've been able to learn so much and soak up so much information and knowledge in these different organizations that I've been involved in, and I'm like so grateful to UCM for that. And I know that if I were to email any of the people in our department right now and say, hey, I need a recommendation letter, or hey, I need kind of a connection for this specific job that I want to work on, I know that Dr. Moore, Birdmeyer, Dr. Newsom, any of those people would be so willing to say, hey, Lea, I'm going to help you, because I mean, not only is it their job, but they also are so dedicated to helping students. That connection that I have with those professors makes me feel comfortable and makes me feel confident in the work that I do and the work that I will do in the future.
Reporting for Lowdown, I'm Jacob Clark.
Awesome.
Earlier on in the semester, I sat down with Dalton Pittenger, the student director of the UCM production of Not Waving, and discussed him traveling the show. This past weekend, the show performed at home in the Black Box Theater on campus. Pittenger explains what the break in rehearsal meant for the show.
There were some new connections emotionally. In one scene in particular, the protagonist, her name is Crandall, she sort of comes to this revelation when she realizes that her mom is going through all sorts of stuff that she didn't realize. And the intensity of that scene really increased after the break for whatever reason, and it was excellent. The truth really was there, and I hadn't noticed, anything wrong with it before, but it was 10 times better when we came back, and so that was really cool to see. The whole time you're off, you're thinking about it. You can't ever totally get it out of your mind, especially when you're planning the rest of your semester. So you're thinking about your character and how they felt and how this moment went, and even then when you're trying to recall what you did previously, you're definitely going to interject some of those new discoveries in, whether you're trying to or not. I'm not sure that the cast made a conscious effort to change the show after they came back, but it certainly happened that way, and so that was really cool to sort of see from an educational standpoint.
Everything was not so smooth though. Pittenger describes one of the challenges the cast faced just days before the show.
We had an actress who was unfortunately, against her will. It was a situation totally out of our control, out of her control. She'd been on the road with us. She wasn't able to perform with us back here. And we didn't get final confirmation that she wouldn't be back until Tuesday with us opening the show on Thursday. So we had our final dress and then it was time to open. So as soon as we got word of that, we contacted who we thought could come in and fill in that role. Of course, the actors had a script, and it was great. We couldn't have had any better result because she was incredible. She really responded to the text. Watching it, you couldn't really tell that she had a book. She was just so engaged. And that's just a testament to how talented she is as an actress. Every show has some problems that arise, and you see them get handled, and you're like, oh, it's not a big deal. But to know that at the end of the day, you have to make that call, that is a totally different beast.
Pittenger understands that this was a very unique opportunity. He tells us what his biggest takeaways are now that it is all over.
The show must go on, and I think I talked a little bit about that before, but that, as we saw, it really exemplified itself as we went on, and we had different things that we had to solve and changes that we had to make, because we knew the show had to go on. As campy and as goofy as that sounds, that's the way it was, and that's what I knew in the back of my mind when I was making those decisions, that we just had to make it happen. No matter what life threw at us, we had to put that show together because there were people counting on us. And the other biggest takeaway that I have is never to take anything for granted, and to enjoy every moment, because this was a really crazy process. At times, I was confused, I was overwhelmed, but I wouldn't trade any of it for the world in hindsight. It was the last show of my UCM career, and I can't imagine a better way to have gone out. It was a wonderful experience, full of a lot of wonderful people, and I never want to forget that, and I never want to take that for granted, because it really was an awesome experience that I'll probably never get to experience again in quite the same way.
This has been Brock Masters reporting for Lowdown.
This is an example of winning. It's hard.
Tunisian international students Mohammed and Issam presented themselves and their country to let people aware that Tunisia is a real country. Mohammed explains how they got to America, and Issam talks about his cultural Tunisian attire.
Me and Issam are actually from Tunisia, so we came under the Thomas Jefferson Scholarship Program, which is a program that it's funded by the US Department and sponsored by IREX, which is the International Research and Exchange Board. The presentation was actually about our country, Tunisia, which is located in northern Africa, so a bunch of people here around America do not actually know where Tunisia is, or what's the culture look like there, or what do they speak, or what's the literary and culinary culture is there. So we tried through this presentation to make it clear for people, UCM students, and wanted actually to let them take a new vision, a new look about the other part of the world, which is quite away from them, quite away from the United States. And everybody was happy after the presentation, and they seemed to like it so much.
What I wear exactly, the hat, its name is Shashia, it's the red one. And what I wear is jibba. It's like white, mostly will be white clothes, traditional one. I think like it's like Berber clothes, so traditional, like 3,000 years ago, and like most people now wear it in the traditional holidays and celebrations. So it's so significant to the Tunisian culture. That's why I tried to wear it. And Mohammed didn't wear. We decided like one to choose, one to wear the traditional clothes and one without, because in Tunisia, like it's not common to find a lot of people wearing the traditional clothes. That's why we decided to represent like exactly what you can find in Tunisia.
Mohammed compares media portrayal of America to real life America, and why you should travel to Tunisia.
When you watch like TV and soap operas and Hollywood movies and stuff, so these things actually give you a certain image about the United States, about life here. But actually when you come here and live the actual life and you meet people and stuff, there's a huge difference that happens into your mind and your perspective that you already had because of those movies and stuff. So there's a huge difference between what you get from the media and what you get from the real life. So what I expected is to find a bunch of stereotypes, which I actually did, but there's no like fancy life, Hollywood everywhere. No, it's there's a huge difference between the media, between TV, and between real life. Because Tunisia is really old in terms of history, in terms of the cultures and the tribes that actually traveled towards Tunisia, and that's why they made of Tunisia such a melting pot, such a huge diverse culture in Tunisia. And what they actually like too is the food. Yeah, how does it look like, the taste? Because there's something which is really particular about Tunisia, which is Tunisia gathers more of Greece, the desert, the beaches, everything. So it's just an amazing place to visit, and I encourage the Americans to think about it and visit it.
Seriously, viewers, I shouldn't have to keep telling you this. Go to a different country and have a ball exploring. All you need is money, a passport, and a weekend, and just go for it. This is Gareth Miles Greenfield reporting for Lowdown.
Hey there, kids! Look what we have here. It's our favorite Knucklehead Tom. He's having difficulty waking up, and this could result in Tom being late to his class. If Tom keeps this up, it could have massive impacts upon his GPA. But Tom could have avoided all of this by using one simple trick. I said Tom could have avoided all of this. All Tom had to do was keep a bottle of water near his bedside and drink it in the morning. This will hydrate his body, jump-starting his day and helping to keep him awake. Tune in next time to see what Tom will do wrong next.
Unfortunately, that's all the time we have left tonight. But do not fear, the show in its entirety and individual segments can be found on our KMOS TV YouTube page. Thanks for joining us this evening. I'm Ronjanae Hill. Good night.